Hello everyone. Today we are going to discuss about the topic of theories of personality. So let's see how to discuss about the theories of personality means. It is categorized in the 5 types. One is personality theories, psychoanalytical theories, and another second one is trait theories, and third one is socio-cognitive theories, and fourth one is humanistic and behavioristic personality. So let's see how to see the psychoanalytical theory. Psychoanalytical theory means it's talk about the human behavior, how the peoples are and how they have to think, how their mind is, how it is working. So uh, this is a concept of the psychoanalytical theory. So the psychoanalytical theory developed by the Sigmund Freud. He developed the theory. He gave the three consciousness of the psychoanalytical theory. So we have to see psychoanalytical theory, intro to psychoanalytical theory. So Sigmund Freud's idea that attributes personality to unconscious motivates and the childhood experience. So he had explained the consciousness and how we have to explain a lot of things from our childhood. So he explained this. Next, unconsciousness. Unconsciousness ideas unavailable in awareness that guide behavior can be expressed through. He explained the three terms of consciousness, that is it, ego, and superego. So already we had here that word ego. So if you are thinking that ego means it is some characteristics of the people, but here not like that. He named three categories. One is it, ego, and superego. Just he give a name to describe the personalities. So let's see which kind of personality that is. So that is id, ego, and superego, like unconscious, preconscious, and conscious. So Freud explained the three terms. It means it is like a persons, they are always do their wish. They cannot able to think whether that is right, whether that is wrong. So these kind of peoples coming under in this id. So that is the id types of peoples. So it means what it is thinking, what that is desire, it maybe the following the same thing. So that is it. Then next one is superego. Superego means it works under the morality and ethics. It cannot be able to think apart from that. It must follow the which one is right. So that is the superego, and the center one is ego. This is the mediator of the id and superego. This is the center in the idea and ego and superego. This is if it is anything, if it is like anything, it is cannot able to get that one, and it need to think whether that is right or wrong. So that is the ego. So idea means what is the desire, it can be able to get. Ego means it need to think whether we can get or not, otherwise whether that is right or wrong. It can be, it is able to think, it is thinking in that kind. Next one, superego is superego always thinking the morality, whether that is the right means right, whether that is the wrong means wrong. So if we give an example for that one, if there is a three kinds of person, one is it, one is ego, and another one is superego. So it's it if it move any other places, there have one extremes of, but there have a lot of friends, but there is only available of only one ice cream. It what it is thinking, I need to get and I need to eat. So that is the characteristic of it. But ego, it is said it can be think, because ego need that ice cream, and it can be able, it can be thinking whether if you are getting that ice cream, if you are eating, whether that is right or wrong. It is able to think. The final one is super ego, means it cannot be able to take that ice cream, because they know the morality, they cannot able to take that one, because it is follow some ethics to uh, didn't take that ice cream. So this is the example for in this ego, ego, and superego. This is explained by the Sigmund Freud. This is the psychoanalytical theory. And the structure, let's see the structure: id, ego, and superego. So let we have to see ID. So ID present from birth. So ID means it comes to birth. It cannot able to change unconscious because it cannot able to think whether that is the right, whether that is the wrong. And driven by pleasure principle, which strives for immediate gratification of all the desires, wants and needs. It only able to think what he need, what he want, they need to get. That is only I. And the next one is the ego, dealing with reality because it does think whether that is right, whether that is wrong. Like that, it is able to think. Next one is functions in conscious, preconscious and unconscious mind because it's sometimes it is thinking whether I need, but I can able to get or not, whether that is the right or wrong. So it's like able to think. Next one is super ego, internalized moral standards and ideals we acquire from both parents and society, our sense of rights and wrong. So what our parents have said, what our teachers have said, what society is said, so whether that is the right, whether that is the wrong, it follows only morality, only ethics, only the right things only the super ego will follow. Next one, the interactive of the ID, ego and superego is, according to the Freud, the key health personality is the balance between the ID, ego and superego. Each and every people, sorry, human people also like that. We are able to categorize the people like ID, ego, superego. So this terms is explained by Sigmund Freud. So, and the next one is trait theory. So let we have to see the trait theory. So trait theory means that how we had here in this word trait. Trait means some characteristics. So which kind of characteristics? So let we have to see. Trait theory of leadership differentiates leaders from non-leaders. So it explains the leaders from non-leaders by focusing on personal qualities and characteristics. How people are differentiated from people to people based on their characteristics, based on their personality, based on their behavior, based on their attitude. From that, the people are differentiate from one to another. So that is explained by the trait theory. So trait theory of leadership, short personality, social, psychical and intellectual traits. So it had been explained in 3 categories. Trait theory assumes that leaders are born. So leaders are made, not born. But here it is said, trait theory said leaders are born, not made. Because it is said. So let us see how the authors are described in this thing. Jung theory. So Jung said he had explained the 2 things. One is introvert and another one is extrovert. So introvert means shy, self-centered person whose attention is focused inward. So the peoples are always concentrated in their self onwards. They didn't see, they didn't care what outside is happening. So that is introvert. Next one is extrovert, means the extrovert people are always bold, outgoing persons whose attention is directed outward. So the people is always getting more knowledge from outside. So that is the extrovert. So let's see the examples, extrovert and introvert. So let's see the arrows is going out, that is extroversion. So the people are always focusing on outside of the world. So that is extroversion. Introversion means the people are always in the inside of the places. So that is introversion. So first one, extroversion draws energy from the external world. So if you are moving in other places, if you are moving any some functions or colleges or wherever, if you are moving in our working places, in morning we are entering the campus or the company in very smiling face. If other people seeing our face, they are also feel very happy and they are also made ourselves in a good manner. So like that. So we need to spread our positive vibration to others also. But introvert person not like that, draws energy from the internal world because they have some circle of the world. So they are circulating through in that places. So that is the difference between extroversion and introversion. So next, Eysenck said he categorized the differentiation between the three things. One is introversion and extroversion. Next one, emotionally stable and unstable. Because if in either places our friends or whomever it may be, they have said anything, we cannot be able to control in our feelings. We cannot able to control our emotions. We are simply rise up in that hearing any kind of problems. So So, Eysenck's three-factor theory. So, he explained the three categorization of the theory. So, he proposed their theory of personality based on the persons how they have to behave, and then the biological factors, arguing that the individual inherent types of a nervous system that affect their ability, and then to learn and adapt to the environment. He explained the three terms of the theory. This is the Eysenck's three-factor theory, and then we have to talk about in this kind of theory we need to know one thing. So that is extroverts versus introverts. So already we had to explain this one. Extrovert means the outer look areas, and the introvert means the persons to know the little bit of thing what they actually have, and as it is what they have to explain. Extroverts are sociable and crave excitement and a change, and thus can become broadened easily. They have to a broad knowledge, and they have to exhibit anything, and they have to expose the carefree and optimistic and impulsive. These kind of activities to stimulate to and restore the level of optimum stimulations. And we have to talk about the introverts. On the other hand, lie at the other end of this scale, being quiet and reserved. They are already over aroused and sensation and stimulation. Introverts they have the reserved and planned their actions and control their emotions, and they tend to be serious, reliable and pessimistic. Extrovert people, they are optimistic, and introverts, the people are pessimistic. So this is the extroversion and the introversion. And the next one is, so emotionally stable versus unstable. So emotionally stable refers to their personal ability to remain stable or balanced. At the other end of the scale, a person who is in high neuroticism has a tendency to easily experiences negative emotions, and the neuroticism is similar but not identical to being neurotic in the sense, because some people are not in neurotic, they cannot able to be a neurotic, and emotionally stable also it refers to personal ability. And the next one is impulse control and the psychotic. See, already we have to well know what is meant by psychotic. So, in the disorders like gambling, next hypersexuals, and the repetitive behaviors such as are known, then a complication of some diseases in impulsive, compulsive, and repetitive behaviors are strongly associated with the replacement therapy. So this is the impulsive control and the psychotic. So next we have to see the topic is Cattell. So he says the sources and the surface traits. So Raymond Cattell, he says that he believed that the sources and surface traits. So in surface traits, it explains the features that make up a visible areas of personality. So what we are able to see. So that personality he had to explain in the surface traits, and the source traits he explains that the underlying characteristics of the personality. It indicates or the building blocks or the humans of personalities. Then all of the traits form part of an individual personality. When you put the source traits together, the makeup of the surface traits. So which are the traits we see and think of as a personality. So this is explained by Raymond Cattell. So next one is So Cattell he explained the big five traits, big five personality. The first one is openness, and second one is consciousness, and third one is extroversion and agreeableness and neuroticism. So the openness is, so the extroversion means it is the outgoing and energized and gregarious and the quiet, withdrawn and unassertive of the unassertive of the things, because it is always in quiet and withdrawn manner. And the next one is agreeableness. So it indicates the considerate and the good natured, and it also it is explained the warm and easily then aloof and irritated. So like kind of characteristics in the personalities, like that is agreeableness. Next one is the conscientiousness. Is the it is the very important, and we need to know the lot of things in this one. This is the responsible, and the peoples are always in goal oriented. They need to achieve what they have and what they think to achieve, and their vision and their mission. And it is also a dependable, and this is the carefree of personality. And next one is openness to experience. So it indicates the imaginative, curious, openness, and to think always in creative and innovative and new ideas. This kind of personalities in the openness to experience. And at the same time, the thing of the narrow field of the interest, like the tried and true. They are again and again trying something new, and they have to follow in that one. And then emotionally stability means they have to confident in that emotions, and they have to stable in that one. And then they have to always tense and lower. They don't have a big confidence. They have to in a lower confidence. So this is the big five personality dimensions, like opennesses and consciousness. Next one, neuroticism, agreeableness, extroversion. That is so. Next we have to see the social cognitive theory. So if you are moving to the in this topic, we need to know the prior thing. So that is, so social cognitive theory used in psychology and education and communication. It holds that the entire portions is, it depends upon the individual knowledge, and it acquiring some of the directions related to the observing others within the context of the some like social interactions and experience and outside of the media influences. So these are all the covered in the social cognitive theory. And the next one is Bandura's theory. It is the self system. So if we are controlling others in front, we need to control ourselves, and how we have to how a person observes and evaluates and regulates in that some particular thing. See, if we have any ambitions, if we have any visions, so we need to find out in that one. Then we have to observe whether that is happening or not, whether it's right or wrong. So we need to observe that one. Then we have to evaluate, and we have to appraise that one. Then we have to regulate. Afterwards, we have to able to complete in that one. So that is the Bandura's self system theory. So this is the, and the next one is Rotter's theory of locus of control. So, Julian Rotter, he says that he is a famous American psychologist, and he became a fraud, Sigmund Freud technologist. And this personality theory combines learning of principles, modeling, cognition, and the effects of the social relationship. He explained the social relationship, the people from one to another, and other to another. And the external locus of control, seeing perception that chance or external forces beyond personal control determine one's fate. So it is inclusive the personal control. A person's sometimes the persons in internal, and some persons they are in external, but here the perceptions it depends upon the external locus of control. And the next one is internal locus of control. So perception that you control your own fate So what we have, we can able to change. But here is what is in our way, the same thing it is happen. Next one is learned helpless, a sense of hopeless in which a person thinks that he or she is unable to prevent aversive events. So in cases we have to sometimes we have to be so, in learned helplessness, in a state that occurs after a person has experienced a stressful situation repeatedly and they come to believe that they are unable to control or change situations, so they do not try. Even the opportunities, then they have to become a social cognitive theory of this one. So, this is the Rotor's theory of. So next one is humanistic theory personality. So we have to know that word humanistic. So that is the common word of human being, and there have a little bit difference between human being and being a human. So humanistic theories of personality stress the basic goodness of human beings and the need to achieve one's full potential. So it is the goodness, basic goodness of the human beings and the need to achieve the one full potential. So if the person have some capability and the ability to do something in that work, so that is the potential. So and then the humanistic psychology is the perspective and the emphasizes looking at the those whole individual and stressless concepts such as free will, self-efficacy and self-actualization. So, the humanistic psychology strives to help people fulfill their potential and maximizing with well-being. It is helps to people live in the good manner, and they rejected the assumption of behaviorism and the psychological approach. In this approach, explained the two persons. One is Carl Rogers and another one is Abraham Maslow. See, let us see what Carl Rogers said. So, Carl Rogers, he explained the term the humanistic approach. So he says the basic two basic human needs. The first one is self-actualization. So the need to fulfill all of one's potential. So if the person have some potential, he need to fulfill the all the things. So he need to achieve. So that is self-actualization. And another one is positive regard. If the need to receive the acceptance, respect, and the affection from others. So that is the positive regard. Next we have to see Maslow hierarchy theory. See, in this Maslow hierarchy theory, is this the based on in this one the everything is more so, Maslow first introduced his concept in a hierarchy of needs in his 1947 paper, A Theory of Human Motivation, and his subsequent book, Motivation and Personality. In this hierarchy, suggests the people and are motivated to fulfill basic needs before moving on to the another, and it has been to be a more advanced needs. So in first we have to see the safety and love belonging, esteem, self-actualization, and the basic thing of psychological. So if you talk about the psychological, so we need to talk about the basics of basic needs of the human being, like breathing, food, water, and sleep, sex, homeostasis and expiation. So these are all the basics in the psychological. And the second one is safety. If the people have that basics of psychological, then they are moving to the next one, safety. Security of body, of employment, of resources, of morality, of the family and health, and next to property. So these are all the second stage of the Maslow hierarchy theory. And the third one is love and belongings. Without love and without a relationship, the people cannot be able to live their life in good manner. So friendship, family, and sexual intimacy. So these are all the things are important. And next one is self-esteem. So confidence and achievements, then their ambitions. So these are the categories it coming under esteem. So self-actualization is what actually have creativity and innovation, then problem solving, decision making, then lack of prejudice. So morality. These are all the coming under self-actualization. So this is Maslow hierarchy theory. So in the final one, we are going to see the behavioral theory. So in this behavioral theory, we have to understand the autocratic and democratic, and the peoples are which kind of category they are, and how they have to behave others. So these are all the coming under the behavioral theory. So behavioral theory developed by D.F. Skinner. So he explained the two categories, one as corporate conditional and another one is reinforcement. She said the positive reinforcement and as well as the negative reinforcement and operation conditional theory. In the reinforcement increases a behavior and punishment decreases or ends it. So this is the theories of the personality. Thank you.